Genuine relationship thieves are I'm almost certain you've constructed a relationship with him consciously over the course of the long stretches of knowing who he is. What he addresses your show was on Revolt. Better believe it, I don't have a companionship with Diddy. He's not my companion, we don't hang out, we've messaged a couple of times. I was on his organization. I've been to a considerable lot of his local gatherings. How about we start with various storehouses during the most recent portion of Out of Control Friday? With Cam Newton, Jason Lee lets the cat out of the bag about his associations with Diddy. Lee dishes on his experience, is going to parties at Diddy's house, and offers a few captivating experiences in a new digital broadcast named Jason Lee uncovered all the businessmen Diddy laid down. With Lee dives further into the insider facts of media outlets. First class Sean Diddy, columns oneself announced terrible kid for life, ends up involved in a trap of legitimate difficulties in the midst of a whirlwind of serious charges traversing provocation, and dealing all through his distinguished lifetime. The pressure heightened emphatically on spring 25th as concurrent assaults of his extravagant res homes in Los Angeles and Miami unfurled. Live on CNN, catching the consideration of the country, while the hip bounce tycoon was airborne on his personal luxury plane, making way for a possibly unstable public retribution, with examinations sent off by country security. And the national government. Combs is wrestling with the heaviness of 4 bureaucratic claims, each adding one more layer of intricacy to his mounting legitimate woes. Among these fights in court lingers the apparition of a 5th claim recorded in late 2023 by his previous sweetheart Cassandra Rack Cassie Ventura, claiming tear and actual ABC anyway. This claim was quickly settled and excused only a brief time after its documenting further convoluting the complex embroidery of lawful ensnarement, encompassing comms. In light of the fact that I know, having been there in the memorial service home, I resided around the bend from 2 memorial service homes, proceeding to pick which. You realize that how generally will have the option to be years old and sit and trust that a family will get up from grieving over the dead comparative, would then proceed to take the gems off that individual, then go get someone in the hood to offer it, to simply to have the option to eat was insane. Yet that was my existence. Yet presently, to be on that he was doing that at 7 years of age. At 7, yes, the most fascinating man with regards to the world right currently. I'm around here taking hearts each story in turn. Rodney Leal Bar John Jur, hailing from the Ha of Che's music scene, has tossed a huge Al Granity ad. In all honesty, Brush is also called Diddy, asserting an amazing 105-page bureaucratic objection against the hip jump magnate. In a stunning disclosure, Jones blames Combs and his internal circle for coordinating an unlawful racketeering endeavor, illustrating uncontrolled drug use gun presentations, and requesting of excavators and cozy laborers. As per Jones' nitty-gritty record in the grumbling his entrapment, with Combs started guiltlessly enough in 2022, when the head honcho looked for his mastery in creating music anyway. Jones asserts that which began as an expert cooperation immediately spiraled into a horrible plunge into the hidden world of Cole's requests. Amazingly, Jones affirms that Combs constrained him into obtaining davros and setting up for unlawful laborers to take special care of all his impulses, with the unfavorable danger of real damage looming over his head if he felt compelled to oppose. Yet the claims don't stop there. Jones illustrates a man unhinged blaming Combs for harassment and relating chilling occurrences of undesirable advances and constrained work under the leering look of an exposed Brush. Much more stunningly, Jones guarantees that a critical experience on board a yacht with. As a matter of fact, Cuba Goodinger transformed into a bad dream, with the entertainer purportedly crossing limits by grabbing and caressing Jones, without assent, leaving him faltering from the stunning infringement. As the fight in court unfurls, the air thickens with pressure, and the once charming veneer of Combs' realm disintegrates under the heaviness of these condemning allegations leaving the music world, bringing in dismay of the unwinding of quite possibly of its most famous figure Day, as of late asserted that she was Abu Eid, and trade by Combs and Harvaworth. The previous intensity of terrible young men records, when she was only 17. And in 11th level, she guarantees she met Pierre in a bar in Detroit, and he told her he was closest companions with Combs purportedly convinced Toe to follow Pierre, and a third as Sallant on a confidential plane to his studio in New York City. She charges she ascended and loaded onto a flight destined for Teterboro, New Jersey, prior to being accompanied to Cole's studio. She claims that once there KES and his partners, incorporating Pierre utilized her with specialist cheese and liquor, and claims she was consequently group or P at the studio by Comes Pierre. And a third is Sallant, an ever-increasing number of casualties of Diddy are showing up presenting her to the world by uncovering his real nature anyway. His monstrous effect on the business and individuals makes these claims disappear. And true to form, Combs posted an explanation on December 6, 2023, tending to the claim that's the last straw. For the most recent few weeks I have sat quietly and watched individuals attempt to kill my personality, obliterate my standing and my heritage. He said Cassie dropped an astounding 35-page bureaucratic objection blaming. In all honesty, Combs himself for a few serious claims, she tossed out allegations of side battery, as per her Combs maneuvered her into his mark, which he was only a new confronted 19-year-old, while he was cruising along at 37. Cassie spilled reality, guaranteeing that he wasn't your customary beau from damnation. He purportedly doled out physical AFC left, right, and sent her over the course of their time together. She even asserted he had an iron hold on her own and proficient life, making it almost unimaginable for her to break free. Cassie claimed that he had her sack around a gun in her handbag like some sort of wound protector, and constrained her into some AEM compromising circumstances with mail-in-it laborers. She guaranteed that it wasn't Combs who was in all wreck his staff, and even representatives at Terrible Kid Diversion evidently chose to disregard to the entire thing. She asserts she at last figured out how to break liberated from her long-term absor back in 2018, after what she depicts as a frightening episode of RP Diddy is under review, with claims piling up. Lisa Gardner recorded a 22-page grumbling against Combs at Erin Corridor, charging them of driving her to have sex with them despite her desire to the contrary. When she was 16, earned charges she met Combs in lobby in New York at an occasion, commending Jawdiz record discharge. Following the occasion's dinner, Combs supposedly welcomed Gardner and a companion to Corridor's level for an all-nighter. She said Combs forced her into having undesirable exercises with him, and as she was preparing, Lobby burst into the room, held her down, and apparently constrained her to perform undesirable demonstrations with him. Gardner's protest expresses that since being